All right, now, Colin, we can get back to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I'm thrilled to welcome Annabelle Everin to the team in the library. Annabelle started today as our new children's librarian. I'd also like to welcome James Smith to the Tyngsborough Public Library. He'll start on February 6th as our new library technician. We're excited to welcome Officer Ryan McLean back to Tyngsborough. Officer McLean returned early this month from a year-long deployment at the southern border with the Massachusetts National Guard. He was appointed a full-time officer in Tyngsborough in July 2023 and previously served as a military police officer with the National Guard. He'll complete a modified field training program before returning to solo patrol. We are currently looking for a qualified administrative professional to join our team as a public safety administrative assistant. That position will support the fire department's administrative operations. It will also support the public records aspect of the police department. The full job description is posted online at tyngsboroughma.gov. The engineering division is working to finalize the design for the sidewalk project on Norris Road. This project calls for the installation of sidewalks from Frost Road to the school campus and was funded in last year's capital plan. A community meeting with abutting properties will be held in early February to explain the project and give residents a chance to ask questions. The Conservation Department is working on a large-scale survey project to clearly delineate public open space, starting with the Bell property and then moving toward the Hunter Norton property. The department is also working with the Merrimack Valley Planning Commission and the Andover Conservation Commission to expand their ongoing Merrimack River cleanup initiative into Tyngsborough. The Tyngsborough Fire Department was awarded $19,000 from the Department of Fire Services through the fiscal year 25 Firefighter Safety Grant Program. This brings our fiscal year 25 grant total across all general government departments to just over $1.8 million. On the topic of the fire department, I'm happy to report that the new Engine 1 was delivered to town 2 weeks ago and is now in service. It replaces a 2000 pumper that was approved by town meeting at fall town meeting in October 2024. The purchase came in about $180,000 lower than the appropriation. This board will remember that last year it approved the recommendation of the Council on Aging that the Senior Center be renamed to the Center for Active Living to better reflect the work that we're doing to increase involvement and reach more residents. Earlier this month, Governor followed suit, signing an executive order formally changing the Executive Office of Elder Affairs to the Executive Office of Aging and Independence. As far as Tyngsborough is concerned, we're working to plan a grand rededication ceremony for the Center of Active Living on Friday, June 20th at 11 a.m. This celebration coincides with the 10-year anniversary of our move into that building. An exciting update on the middle school. That project is moving forward on time and under budget. We are well on track to open the new school for the 25-2026 school year. The current schedule calls for the move from the old school to the new school to begin in the last week of June. As soon as school ends for the summer, the abatement and demolition of the old middle school will begin and will be complete well ahead of the first day of school on August 25th, which is when all students will report to the new school. The project remains under budget with an owner's contingency of $2.9 million still available and $1.4 million in construction contingency untouched as of this month. The Tyngsborough Board of Health will host a Narcan training on Thursday, February 6th from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. at Town Hall. No registration is required. Our health department and the town clerk's office are planning a rabies vaccination clinic at the Center for Active Living on Saturday, February 22nd, 2025. It's going to be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Registration is not required, but you can make an appointment online through the town's website. They're charging $20 for the vaccine. You can get either a 1-year vaccine if it's the dog or cat's first shot, and then also you can get a 3-year one. Our town clerk's office will also have staff available to help people register their dogs in accordance with the town's bylaw. I'm happy to share that the town was awarded $37,000 in technical assistance through the Northern Middlesex Council of Governments. These funds will help us work through amendments to our accessory dwelling unit zoning regulations to comply with the recent change in state law, which the changes will be minor. Our bylaw was pretty much already compliant. Coordination of the Regional CEO Support Program and additional assistance managing our housing efforts in Tyngsborough. And then finally, on a less exciting update, this weekend the Maya annual business meeting took place and the range of rate increases across the health trust were announced. This is our health insurance. Unfortunately, the rate increases across all communities range from the lowest increase being 9.9% and the highest being 19%. The average is 14.8%. The good news is that our budget included a 10% increase, and I can't imagine that we'll fall at the top of the range. The bad news is even if we saw just that 9.9%, the budget does become a little bit tighter. As you remember, this was the area we were hoping would shake out. I expect in the next few days we'll get our actual numbers, and at your first meeting in February, we'll have a better update on the budget. And that is all that I have today.
Great. Kat, you want to do your update, and then I'll open it up for questions and comments?
Sounds great.
Thank you.
So just one update for the board. The Capital Asset Management Committee met last Wednesday to approve the FY26 capital plan. The committee approved approximately $340,000 in requests, which is in addition to the fire pumper truck approved at the fall special town meeting. The $340,000 includes exterior building upgrades at the police station and a new backhoe for the Department of Public Works.
Thank you. With that, I'll open it up to the board. Mr. Moran.
I'm fine with the update. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Select Person Gilfus.
Mr. Manager, did we do a ceremonial push-in of the new fire truck?
We did
Which
not
I did not know was a
Yeah.
thing until the Lowell Sun.
post about Drakeits.
Yeah, and then I was like really upset that I hadn't been invited to ours, but
We
it
did
sounds
not.
like we didn't do one.
Our bays are very narrow. Pushing it in is a little risky.
I want no risk, so understood. That's it. Thank you.
Mr. Cohen.
You got no comment.
Let's see.
We'll push in the backhoe.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah, you don't want to get backhoe?
yeah, just as a, so a couple things. So on the healthcare, our healthcare costs, that's all, we've got contracts for staff, so it is what it is. That's not something that we can tweak or anything like that, to be clear. The exterior building upgrades, police station that we did for capital asset, those were based on the first recommendations from the consultant that we had looking at our buildings, and those were the critical items. I do want to thank the department heads, and Kat and Colin and probably Jackie did, the paperwork, but for being fiscally prudent and, only coming with the items that were there. There was a lot of work on that. I think we said that our next meeting, we're going to spend more on providing guidance to the departments on how do we deal with some of the little onesie-twosies that they're having a hard time getting into their budgets, that really should be our role rather than, the day-to-day stuff, which you folks have taken off our plate. But the real thing, so the school is not going to cost $100 million, as was mentioned here, and
Contrary to popular belief, it will not.
what you're telling me is that it's going to come in on time and under budget?
Correct. When we talk about it being an $84 million school, just a reminder that some of that is coming from the MSBA. The town will be on the hook for less than $54 million. Just so we're on the same page.
Exactly. So I think it's important for people to understand that the townspeople are spending $54 million, which, if I'm not mistaken, even before we had had any cost escalations and things like that from COVID supply chains, fixing the old building and retrofitting that was going to be even more than that. So I just think it's important for people to understand those numbers.
And may I ask a follow-up?
Of course.
Of that 54 million that you said the town is on the hook for, is that inclusive of the $1 million a year that the town has committed? And it's what is it, 30 years?
Yes, so it's $54 million that is Tyngsborough tax dollars. $30 million or so of it is going to be through that $1 million contribution within the tax levy.
Yep.
The balance, 22 to 24, depending on where the project closes out, that's going to be the debt exclusion piece, which is on top of your regular tax bill.
Thank you, sir.
Well, no, it's $54 million that we're borrowing. The net on it is the debt on that is about a little under $3 million a year based on the bond.
Correct.
1 million of that for the next 30 years is paid through the operating budget. So
Right.
let's not make it sound, we are borrowing $54 million.
Thank you.
It's
Correct.
just,
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm just trying to portray that the debt exclusion piece will be reduced by the $30 million.
over time, over the 30
You guys
years.
are saying the same thing.
Correct. Yeah, we're saying the same thing.
Everybody's on the same
Make sure.
page.
Okay.
$100 million building is what I heard.
No.
I heard 1 billion.
Just
All
kidding,
right.
just kidding.
Anything else on that? As always, fantastic update, lots of things going on. Residents would be wise to read this and stay up to date on this, even if you don't want to watch the prior hour and 45 minutes that we had.